Yes, good evening to everybody. Welcome to the Family Law class. And today is a rest because of the 25 December, that is the Christmas Day, and 26 December, that is the Boxing Day. Yes, now you could unmute and read what I posted on the screen. Anyone? Hurry up.
Muslim law of marriage. Object of marriage is covered under three headings. Religious. Prophet was great supporter of marriage. He says marriage helps in raising the status of men.
Women.
Social. Yes. Social. It helps women in many ways. Legal. Marriage cannot be complete unless free consent is obtained. Marriage is dissolved by the acts of parties or by operation of law. Capacity for marriage. Every Muslim who is of sound mind, who has attained puberty, is capable. General presumption is 15 years. Marriage of person above than 15 years without his consent is void. Person of unsound mind and those who have not attained puberty, guardians will contract marriage for them.
This
Professor
is the
Dr.
gist of the
Mohammed
Muslim law of marriage. Yes, thank you very much. Then, without wasting the time, that I would go to the point, marriages under the Muslim law. Let us see what is the nature and the essential of a Muslim marriage. Marriage under Muslim law is a marital connection and an organization that legitimizes the sexual relationship between a male and a female for the object of reproduction of children, advancement of support, love, and formation of families which are viewed as a fundamental unit in the public. So if you see the Muslim marriage, it is nothing but it is a marital connection. It is a tie, which will legitimize the sexual relationship between the male and a female, both the bride and bridegroom, for the what is the object? Reproduction of children, that is the procreation and the support of each other, love and affection, and the formation of the families, are running the family tree ahead. That is the fundamental unity in the public. So Islam also the same as Hinduism is a tough supporter of the marriage. Nikah is an Arabic word that means the unification of the two genders. They say unification of the two genders. They say that doesn't mean that they are male to male and female to female, but the opposite sexes, male and female, are, we can say, woman and the man. Unification, that is the recognition, that is the function, that is a procreation for the children. The marriage, it is there. That is the nature of the marriage. As noted with Justice Mahmood said, I quote, marriage according to the Muhammadan law is not a sacrament but a civil contract. As per the views of the Justice Mahmood, he said Muslim marriage is a civil contract but not a sacrament. But when you go further, we can see that it is both a sacrosanct as well as a contract. All rights and obligation is create arises immediately and not dependent on any condition precedent, such as the payment of the dower by the husband to a wife. Whereas where the matter comes to the dower, we already discussed in our earlier classes. How many types of the dower is there? Yes? Anyone can unmute and give me the answer. How many types of the dower is there?
Prompt dower, deferred dower, two types of dower.
Yes, there are two types of the dower, but at least you have given in the English equivalent. But if you want to say in the terminology of the Muslim law, could you know that what you have to say? Mehre, muajjal, mehre, muvajjal. One is muwajjal and another is wajjal. So one is deferred dower, another is the prompt dower. These are two types of the dowers are there. Even dowry is not there, even the marriage could be conducted, because a dower can be fixed at a later part when it is not agreed by the two parties. So Justice Mahmood, according to the Justice Mahmood, in one of the case law, Abdul Khadir versus Salima, in there it is decided the marriage is a civil contract. So that is within parentheses 1886 ILR and all, that is Allahabad 149, that is the case law. So the requirement of the marriage under the Muslim law are very much the same as the civil contract, like offer and acceptance, competency of the parties to the marriage, and consent of the parties. So whatever the essential conditions are needed for the marriage, the essential condition needed for the contract, the same conditions will be applicable in the marriage, because according to Justice Mahmood, marriage is a civil contract. But as per the Dr. Jung is concerned, and he says, marriage, though essentially a contract, is also a devotional act. Here, devotional act means sacrosanct. Its object is right of enjoyment and procreation of children and regulation of the social life in the interest of the society. So, according to Jung, he says marriage is not only a civil contract, but it is a devotional act also. So, as per the Prophet Muhammad is concerned, what he said, marriage is a ibadat. It is one of the type of the worship. Ibadat means worship. So, if a person has conducted a marriage or married, means half of the ibadat he did it, means half of the life worship that he did it. So that is according to the Prophet Muhammad. So this gives a sense that marriage is a must in the Muslim law. And in the Christian law, there are nuns are there, they without marriage, and there are some other fathers are there, they don't marry it. But such a thing it is not given under the Muslim law. They said marriage is must, it is a half ibadat, means half worship. As per the Abdul Rahim is one of the author, they say, in the book Principles of Mohammedan Jurisprudence, he says that is what he says. He also says in the same thing Dr. Jung has said. It is both a sacrosanct as well as a civil contract. So in case of the Anis Begum versus Muhammad Istafa, this is one of the case law, the court observed a stable viewpoint regarding the Muslim marriage, considering it to be both religious sacrament, both the religious and sacrament. It is observed in the Anis Begum versus Muhammad Istafa in this case law. So now you tell me, Muslim marriage is, yes, Muslim marriage is,
Sacrament and also civil contract.
it is a sacrament as well as a civil contract. So the court has observed on the other occasion that Muslim marriage is a religious ceremony. In one of the case law that observed, in one of the point it is observed the religious ceremony held in the case of the Shoharat Singh versus Jafri Begum. In that case law, it is clearly mentioned that marriage is a religious ceremony, as which is decided in the Shoharat Singh versus Jafri Begum. It is a civil contract yet in addition to a holy pact. So both give the sense that it is a civil contract in addition to a holy pact, means sacrament, means devotional thing. These are the different aspects of the marriages under the Muslim law. Now let us see that what is the nature of marriages under Muslim law. What are the things should be there in the marriages? According to the Muslim law, in one aspect, there is a legal aspect, religious aspect, and there is another social aspect. We will see both the aspect. Let us see the legal aspect, how we can say Muslim marriage. From the legal point of view, the marriage under the Muslim law is a contract and not a sacrament, as per the legal aspect. The same has been observed by the court in the case of Abdul Khadir versus Salima, where the Justice Mahmood clearly mentioned. Then Asaf Ali Asghar Faizi is one of the educator and jurist, has observed marriages under Muslim law is as a contract and not a sacrament. According to the Asghar Ali, the Asaf Ali Asghar Faizi, he said it is a contract but is not a sacrament. And Justice Mahmood also says in the Abdul Qadir versus Salima, it is a civil contract. It has the features similar to a contract, because what are the features would be there in the contract, the same features you could see under the Muslim law in the marriage. What is the Arabic name for the marriage? Yes?
Nikah.
Nikah, Nikah, Nikah. So it has been future that whatever the features would be there in the contract, the same feature will be applicable in the marriage, whether it is solely a civil contract or a sacrament also. Either you say civil contract or a sacrament, in the legal aspect, it is like a contract, civil contract. Now let's see the second aspect of it. It says a religious aspect. What is the religious aspect of the marriage under Muslim law? It is a sacrament, means holy order, sacred obligation, matrimony and extreme action, and Salman oath, according to Collins, the National Dictionary. That is the meaning of a given sacraments, means holy order, sacred obligation, matrimony, and extreme action, as per the Collins Dictionary. Marriage under the Muslim are devotional act. And again they say the marriage is a devotional act. But I already told you that Prophet Muhammad says, if a person is got married, that means he is half of the life he worshipped. Is it clear? Say yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us see the Quran, which is a set of expressions of God, guides each Muslim to wed a reasonable woman of his decision. It is given a choice to choose a woman of his decision. It is along these lines a strict obligation of each Muslim to contract marriage as indicated by the standard of Islam. So Islam say a suitable, a reasonable woman we can marry. An individual who remains alone with no sensible reason defies the expression of God. If a person did not marry, that means he is not obeying the orders of the God. Because God say, get married. Is it clear? Say
Yes, sir.
yes.
Clear.
Yes. Even marriage also, it is also a tradition, sunnah of the Prophet, as per Dr. R.K. Sinha in the Muslim Law, 5th edition, it is given. Prophet Muhammad also got married. Of course, they said at the time of the point of view, they married the 11 members, or they married the 4, and so and so. As a necessity comes over there to give the shelter to them, that he did so. But overall, that he fixes the 4. That is the man. So that means Prophet Muhammad also got married, and of course, for the first wife, he is having a boy or a girl, but all of them died, but only survived only the girls. Prophet Muhammad, no son. So, as per the Prophet Muhammad, it is a sunnah, because Prophet followed, Prophet married, hence one should have to marry. So, it is a following one of the sunnat. As indicated with Islam, it is accepted that marriage is a sunnate muakkida. They clearly mentioned in the Islam, it is accepted that marriage is a sunnatul muakkida. What is sunnatul muakkida? That means a demonstration of such a nature that if an individual does it, he gets religious advantages. That is called sunnate muakkida. It is nothing but if you marry it, at least half of the life you worshipped. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. On the off chance he avoids doing it, at that point he commits a crime. If you don't marry, that means you are committing a
Crime.
Right.
crime. Suppose if our father mother will not marry, what about our existence? No, is it not? Say
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Yes,
Sir.
in this way, as for Muslim law, marriage is an agreement for legitimizing the intercourse, that is the BBC, and the reproduction of the children in the light of the legitimate concern for the society by making the right and obligations between the parties and kids conceived from their union. It is a legalized BBC. For what? Sir, the other people don't have no children, no, sir. How many are there? Very few people. And that you can count on the fingers. You, in your own family, you tell me that how many, after getting married, they did not have the children? Sir, 30 people. Is it? Is it?
No.
One or two or three, we can count them on fingers. Suppose, what is that man, what is that woman who doesn't have the children is called? తెలుగులో చెప్తాను నేను, మీరు ఇంగ్లీష్లో చెప్పండి. గొడ్రాలు అంటారు. Yes. If you don't know, you say pass on. I will give the answer.
Yes, sir. Pass on.
Barren woman. Barren. Barren. Who cannot conceive. So, there are few people are there, barren women, but most of the women are, they procreate the children after the marriage. So that is the way, the light of legitimate concern of the society by making the rights and obligation between the parties and kids conceived from their union. Suppose if we don't, we will take care of the children, we love the children, we rear them, we will nurture them, we will see them, they will be grown up as a good citizens, we try to spend the money for their well-being, and there is a bond relationship with the man and a woman would be there, and all these things will come because of the bond of the marriage. So that in that aspect, what is it? Marriage is a religious aspect. The first one we studied, marriage is a legal aspect. Second, religious aspect. Third, social aspect. The Prophet tried to bring a change in society. No social change was conceivable without giving the equivalent status to the woman. So, a woman giving the equivalent status to in the Islam. Along these lines, an unequivocal organizations are a built-up law was required to give a correspondence and opportunity to the woman. So, in the social aspect, if you could marry her, a woman, then you are giving the equal importance to her as the half of it. That is the reason in Islam or in the Muslim law, there is no self-acquired property, there is no ancestral property. Every property is a property, either is a tangible or intangible, or movable or immovable. Is it clear?
Sir.
Okay. In that object, at the top of the priority list, Prophet presented the nikah through which the ladies could be set on an equivalent balance with man. So because of the nikah, she will get the right equivalent to the man. So her share would be 50-50. Whatever the property would be there, yes, she will get it. But only the women, especially daughters, will get the one share, and male will get the two shares. We will see in the inheritance. The reason is we will spend a lot of money in the conducting the marriage for the female, the girl, and we will give a lot of the goods to her also in the form of gift and in the form of love and affection, even a house or a car or utensils or whatever it may be there, where she can just buy the provisions and start cooking. Even some people will give even a stove also with a gas cylinder. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, the important feature of the social aspect of Muslim marriage are another social aspect, what they are thinking. Number one, to give a high position and dignified life to the women in society, in the social life. Because she stays with the father and mother. When she got married, she would like the same facility and same position, dignified, even after the marriage also. Number one. Number two, there are constraints on polygamy practiced among the Muslims in earlier times. So, polygamy, what is meant by polygamy?
Having more than one wife.
Having more than one wife is said to be the polygamy. So, that would be the polygamy is very much practiced over there, but after Prophet Muhammad of the marriage of Nikah, it will be restricted. Yes, next, there is a ban on the marriage between the close siblings and relatives. Even close siblings were there before the Prophet Muhammad. It is a barbaric life. We can say, Yome Jahalat. That is the barbaric life of the life they are using. And the woman will be treated as a article, a vegetable, and they use it and throw it, irrespective whether the relative or no relative, siblings, not. So that was the distinction would not be there at the time before the Prophet Muhammad, but after the nikah is when it is made it over there. Then after the Prophet Muhammad, they said there is a ban on the marriage between the close sibling, means consanguinity, close relationship. There should not be prohibited relationships are there. Such marriages are void. And the last point is the husband has to pay a dower to the wife as a token of respect toward the wife, even if the sum of dower is not predetermined, unlike a civil contract where no payment needs to be done when it is specifically not mentioned in the contract. As we already studied in dower, either it can be fixed predetermined, or it may be paid on the spot, specified dower, or it may be deferred. It may be paid at any time, the lifetime of a husband, or after the death. Even the from the estate, the dower would be paid to the widow, and in any case, dower cannot be relinquished unless until with the free consent if the wife forego it or waive it or relinquish it. Okay, now marriage in Islam is not merely a civil contract devoid of all religious and spiritual values. So overall, what do you want to say? In the marriage in the Muslim law, not only the civil contract, it is a divine act, it is a sacrosanct. Along with the secular aspects, that is called mamulat. Muamulat means secular aspect. That is called mamulat. It is also partakes of the element of the sacred union of the two souls meant for the spiritual ends. I said ibadat. If you married half of life, you did ibadat. That is the spiritual ends. And according to the Tahir Muhammad, he is one of the writer in the Muslim law and the decisive percept in the Muslim family law that he is clearly mentioned. Marriage is two unions of the souls, and it is a spiritual ends. It is called ibadat. So if you marry, it means half of the life you worshipped. It is the ibadat counted as. And the next aspect of essential of the marriage under Muslim law is, number one, there should be offer and acceptance, like we will find it in contract. So when you say offer in the Muslim law terminology, what do you have to say? Yes,
Ijab. Ijab.
I put it on the screen. Just look it and you can give. Offer means ijab by one party, and accepted means hubul,
Hubul.
means accepted. Hubul means accepted. And by the author. An offer ought to be made by one party, and the equivalent ought to be acknowledged or accepted by the other party. So who will make the offer in the marriage? Bride or bridegroom?
One party. Wife or husband. Any party.
Yeah, any party, but preferably offer goes from the
Bridegroom.
bridegroom. For a substantial Muslim marriage, offer and acceptance ought to be done on a similar occasion. And in one setting, I will make an offer today and you will make a hubul, means acceptance tomorrow. No, on the spot it should be done. So on the off chance, and an offer is made at one time and the acknowledgement of the offer is done in another time, it is not considered as a legitimate. సార్ ఆకలి అయినప్పుడు అన్నం పెట్టాలి కానీ సార్ ఆకలి లేనప్పుడు అన్నం పెడితే ఏం లాభం అండి చెప్పండి. ఎస్, అది తెలుగులో సామెత ఉన్నది, చెప్పండి సార్. అది డాగ్ మీద ఉన్నది సామెత, ఏంటిది అది తెలుగులో? హరియాప్.
Asan. Asan.
Pass, sir.
Pass.
దొంగలు పడ్డ 6 నెలల తర్వాత
Kalmarine.
అది అన్నట్టు అర్థం అక్కడ. See, offer and acceptance should be done in the one sitting, in one transaction. I will make an offer today. If you give the accepted tomorrow, that is not amount. On the spot, it should be done. Okay, you can make it out. But when we send the offer on the spot, because in the nikah, what do they say? They will ask, so-and-so person is going to be married to you with the so-and-so dower, whether you will accept it or not. Sir, I will inform you tomorrow. Can you say so?
Not valid.
No, on the spot you have to say, yes, who will, and that will be 3 times. Sir, నేను తల ఆడిస్తా. No. Are you a Gangeddu, the taladiya danki. You have the mouth, you have to say, yes, khubul hai, khubul hai, 3 times. That to be, you have to utter in a sound where the other people could hear, because there is a witness also there, you should hear. So on the spot, you should have to give the acceptance. Number 2, competency of both the parties. Yes, of course, earlier the Muslim marriage will make it to even she did not reach the puberty also, but the consent of the husband, not husband, guardian will be given over there. But let us see, the main requisite of the marriage is that parties to have attained the puberty age and are of sound mind. And according to the Indian Majority Act 1875, every person residing in India attains the majority at the 18 years of age. But for the purpose of acting in respect of marriage under the Muslim law, and also in the case of divorce, and adoption, this age of majority fixed by the Indian Majority Act of 1875 does not apply and does. But what is the present age of the marriage for the man and woman, irrespective of the caste and creed?
21.
21 for the female and 24 for the male. That is irrespective of it is fixed over there. Earlier,
21 male, 18 female.
yes. So Muslim law, this is now changed it. Of course, the case law is no more useful now, because Hanufa Bibi versus Mokshad Ali, Mondal and another, where it is decided attaining the puberty is enough. On attaining the age of 15, whichever is earlier, is enough for the marriage. But now, if you could marry a woman below the 21 years, that is said to be the null and void, or we can say the regular marriage. Of course,
సరే ఇప్పుడు అంటే ముస్లిం అంటే ప్యూబర్టీ వస్తే షీ కెన్ మ్యారీ కదా ముస్లిం.
at that time,
నౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ వ్యాలిడ్.
but now they said preferably now even the Muslims also, they are not going to conduct the marriage when she attained the puberty, because they will at least take the graduation or post graduation or something. They will make it out and see that marriage will be conducted within the 21 years to 26 years in this region. They will conduct the marriage. But earlier, when the attaining the puberty is enough, or 15 years is enough, whichever is earlier. But now, if anybody conduct it, yes, somebody can bring an action against them. You are not supposed to get it married, even though it is a Muslim marriage, doesn't matter. So that is even now also they said a woman will be matured with the mentally or physically or bodily or psychologically only at the age of 21 years. And the man, they say only 21 years is not that much enough. They said it should be increased over there. Then he will be perfect in all means. So therefore, the age of marriage is when an individual has attained the age of puberty.
ఫర్ బ్రైడ్ గ్రూమ్ ఓన్లీ 21. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఇంక్రీజ్ టు
ఇంతకు ముందు
24.
ఉండేదండి బ్రైడ్ గ్రూమ్ 21, 18 ఉండేది. ఇప్పుడు దాన్ని పెంచారు, అమెండ్మెంట్ అవుతుంది, అయిపోయింది కూడా ఐ బిలీవ్.
అంటే 21 ఫీమేల్ 21 మేల్ అని అన్నట్టున్నారు.
లేదు 21 కాదు, నో 24 అన్నారు. సరే, ఇక మొత్తానికి ఏదైతే ఉంది కానీ, సపోజ్ ఇఫ్ ఎనీ పర్సన్ గట్ ఇట్ మ్యారీడ్ ఇన్ ద 22, హూ ఆర్ ద హ్యావింగ్ ద ఇంట్రెస్ట్ టు ఫైల్ ఏ కేస్ అగేన్స్ట్ హిమ్? చెప్పండి. Yes, unless until that fellow is interested in the girl to whom that he is going to marry, this fellow got the chance and going to marry her. Doesn't matter. So now the question comes over there, because theoretically they say now the 24 years and 21 years. That is the point is there. Suppose the boy is 22 years now. Now let us see that. Can police will come and stop the marriage? Unless until somebody make a complaint or do a particular thing, then only it comes. Otherwise, police doesn't have any other work except who is going to marry and what is his age, show the date of birth certificate. Can the police will come and the marriage is going on and ask for the date of birth certificate of both the bride and bridegroom?
No.
Answer: capital N, capital O, bold letters and center. Do you think that they don't have the work, other work? Okay. And of sons that an individual is a minor. Of course, now the question of minor that we have to study it because it's only theoretically at the time minor is there and not at the puberty, then the father or mother or the parent or grandparent or guardian or brother should have to give the consent on behalf of the minor. Theoretically. Okay, in the case of none of them, some of the government authority will be appointed as a guardian. Suppose no one is there, the guardian, then the court will appoint the guardian. Suppose if you approach the court, even not, even the clan people will appoint a guardian to conduct it. But now, sir, child marriages ఎక్కడ అవుతున్నాయండి ఇప్పుడు? Give me the answer.
Sir.
చైల్డ్ కావట్లేదు సార్.
There is no question of child marriage now. Now everybody is after getting some employment or after getting some job and after realizing that a man and a woman were good enough, look good, having a good status, by these things they'd easily cross the 21 and boy also cross the 24. So that's why they say it's more better to get it married. In all respect, 21 and 24 is good. Sir, why not 21, sir? Anyone? Why it is not 21? Sir, woman looks growing is very early. That's why 21 she looks very big. Even a man 24 or 28 also there, but he will streamline himself. He looks like a less than the age of the actual. So naturally they say he's a hard enough man and he's a powerful man. That's why he needs a bit more age instead of keeping the same age. Suppose if the same age is suppose going to marry, whether the court will interfere?
No.
No.
No, it is their choice. Sir, wife age is big and larger. The husband age is less. So, nobody will have interest. Sir, wife is very short height and the husband is Lilliput. Why? Sir, love is blind. Are you following me?
Yes sir. Again.
Yeah. Nobody would interfere because it is there like because somebody like the height woman and somebody like the short woman. Sometimes you cannot get. Generally, the women are very much not that much height. If any woman is height, it's a problem to get the husband again. Are you following me?
Following sir.
Very good. Third condition is consent of the parties. Yes, the consent of the parties to the marriage should be free and not influenced by the sort of the force or coercion or undue influence. ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు పెళ్లి చేసుకోకపోతే నేను చచ్చిపోతా కత్తి పెట్టుకొని మెడ మీద పెట్టి కోర్చుకుంటే అవుతుందా అండి అది మ్యారేజ్? It should be free. Consent should be given by both the sides. Then only that marriage is a valid marriage. So that is the another condition. The settlement of the dower, of course, either before or after, that is depending upon the agreement of the parties. And the dower is called meher. Of course, it's a fundamental requirement of the Muslim marriage related to the settlement of the dower or meher. In any case, dower cannot be relinquished unless until the woman voluntarily relinquish it or waive it. So dower or meher alludes to a specific amount of money or particularly which the bride is qualified to get from the spouse with regard to the marriage. Without meher, a Muslim marriage cannot be called legitimate. Of course, either deferred dower or prompt dower.
Prompt.
In any way, it doesn't matter. Number 5, no legal hindrance. Here, legal hindrance means marriage and the Muslim cannot be allowed in certain situations, like absolute prohibition. Like a Muslim marriage cannot happen if the parties to our blood relationship లో మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకోరు. సార్ అక్క చెల్లెళ్ళ పిల్లల్ని చేసుకుంటారు కదా సార్? ఆర్ యూ ఫాలోయింగ్ మీ?
Yes sir.
Very rare occasions such a thing happens over there. Otherwise it will not happen. Very rare occasions. So close relations should be avoided over there, and marriages such marriages said to be the void also. The absolute peculiar degree of relations are as per the following. What is the absolute relationship between consanguinity, means same blood relation? It refers to a prohibited degree of relationship where a man is forbidden to marry his ascendants like mother, grandmother, sister, aunt, daughter, granddaughter. Consanguinity, kabatti they are prohibited. Any marriage with such a female will be considered unlawful, and children born out of such marriage is illegitimate because it is a consanguinity. Next, affinity from the mother side. If it refers to barring a man from marrying a certain females due to the closeness of the relationship, some example of such females are wife's mother and grandmother, wives. See, all wives means the bride side, and wife's own daughter, son. Such close relatives are forbidden for the marriage under the Muslim law, either the affinity or by the consanguinity, or by the fosterage also. And పెంచుకోవడం అన్నట్టు తల్లి పాలు ఇవ్వడం వేరే లేదు. This denotes a milk relationship. These are the cases where the child under the 2 years of age is breastfed by a woman other than the mother of the child, because sometimes the mother will not have the milk in the breast. That's why either somebody will give the breastfeeding, and in such also said to be a mother, and such mother relatives or anyone which will be either in either in the affinity could not get it married. Such a woman becomes the foster mother of the child, and man is not allowed to marry her. With the foster mother, he will not supposed to marry. The following woman comes under such a restrictions. She is foster mother or foster grandmother, or how high may be, or a daughter or foster mother. So these are all restricted relationship are there. So these are some exceptions in the case of there. Some certain patterns in Sunila, they will get married sister's foster mother, and father's foster sister's mother. Very rare occasion such a thing will happen. Very rare occasion. On the other hand, Shia law does not consider the exception by Sunni law. So naturally, even my view also, don't marry a close relationship. The reason is the offspring, there may be possibility, I did not say completely, there is a possibility that either they will be lame, mentally retarded, or they will be insane, or they're not matured, or many other complications would be there. So better you go for the world is very big. You can go for the another woman, another girl, get it married instead of going. Parsi community in Bombay, it is a very many Parsi community is there. In the Parsi community, they will not give their son or daughter to another person. See, in the most of the Parsi community, you will find mentally retarded people, lame people, insane people, because very close blood relationship is there. Because their thinking is that our money should not be go to the other families. So they will marry in their own clan only and see that the money would be in the same, it will rotate there. So this is one school of thought, but another school of thought, why do you marry the only one? Why don't you marry the another one? A distant relative. Sir, maku teliyadu kada sir, how they look. So manalle marriage in tarvata if they change, what will happen? What will happen? Tell me. Sir, how did you marry your close relations? I said, no, I married the entirely a new relation. Okay, let us come to the next two, relative prohibition. Some restrictions under the Muslim law are relative, which means the marriage with such relative prohibition is irregular and not wide. They say irregular marriages, because in the Muslim law there are 3 types of the marriages. Can you tell me what are the 3 types of the marriages? Anyone? If you don't know, you say pass on.
Batil, fasid.
Sahih. Sahih means valid.
Mm.
Batil means void. Fasik means irregular. So as soon as the irregularity is removed from the marriage, lawful it will become automatically. Following the relative prohibition only. Unlawful conjunction. What is the unlawful conjunction? Let us see. A Muslim man is brought to wed 2 women on the off chance that they are identified with one another by the method of for affinity, or consanguinity, or fosterage, though they would have been opposite gender, their marriage would have been void. You cannot marry wife's sister when the wife is alive. It is a unlawful conjunction. అంటే అర్థం మరదల్ని చేసుకోవచ్చు
మ్యారేజ్
కొడుకులు అయితే. In Urdu, sali, we don't marry it when the wife is alive. So that is the unlawful conjunction. Like he can't marry his wife's sister. Even wife's sister also he could not. That is the same thing what I told. Wife's sister means nothing but mardalu. Is it not?
ఎస్
Is
సార్
it not? Yes, it is. But after the end of the marriage, okay, after her demise, okay, you can marry. You can marry, but not when she is alive. The wife's sister you cannot marry. Sir, elder sister or younger sister? ఎల్డర్ని వచ్చి యంగర్ ఎట్లా పెళ్లి చేసుకుంటారండి? అవుతుంది ఎందుకు కాదు, అవుతుంది. కొన్నిట్లో ఉంటాయి, ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి. అయితే వైఫ్ సిస్టర్ అను, అంతేగాని యంగర్ ఎల్డర్ అనలేదు అక్కడ. అన్నారా అండి?
అనలేదు సార్.
సో షీ కెన్ గో ఫర్ ద ఎల్డర్ ఆల్సో. As per the Sunni law, marriage with unlawful conjunction is irregular. So such marriages are irregular. They don't say void. అయితే అది రెగ్యులర్ ఎప్పుడైతుంది? When the wife died. అంటే కావాలని చంపేస్తారండి to make it regularize. No, such a thing will not be there. Fasid marriage it is. But in the case of the Shia law, marriage with unlawful conjunction is void. Completely, there is no unlawful conjunction. It is completely void in the Shia law. They say no. Outrightly rejected. Polygamy. Polygamy refers to the more than one marriage. It is allowed under the Muslim law but restricted to having the 4 wives. Therefore, the 5th marriage of the Muslim man, when he already had the 4 wives, will be considered irregular and not void if he have the 5th one when 4 are alive. That is called fasik marriage. If any one of them died over there, then the fasik marriage becomes a regular marriage. Means irregular marriage became a regular marriage. So that is the thing where we can say prohibited relationship, distance, relative prohibited relationship. The lack of proper witnesses. Always keep in the mind, marriages under the Muslim law must be done within the sight of the appropriate capable of witnesses. 2 witnesses should be necessary. 2 witnesses should be necessary in the marriage, especially in the Sunni law. And 2 witnesses, how 1 male or 1 female, or 1 male or 2 female. Because when you say 2 witnesses, 2 female is called 1 witness. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sir, you said 2 witnesses. That means 2 female, 1 witness, and 2 female. Means 4 female will give witnesses? Answer no. Among them at least 1 should be a male. Among them at least 1 should be a male. It doesn't mean that female should not be there. No. But 2 male also be there. But not 4 female. 1 male and 2 females. Okay, under Shia law, attendance of the witness is not fundamental, and marriage without witness is considered substantial. In the Shia law, I will not say. But marriage is valid if the parties who are major, even in the presence of their guardians itself. Of course, now no question of guardian, no question of that thing, because everybody's got major only at the time they are getting married. Now the government also increased the age also there. Hence, there is no such a child marriages are there. So, but for theoretically, we have to study it. Marriage is a valid if the parties to it are major, or even in the presence of their guardian itself also. In Sunni law, attendance of the witness is a basic, else the marriage would be irregular. If the no witnesses are there, then the marriage would be irregular. But after getting the witnesses, the irregular marriage become a regular marriage. In any case, 2 male or 1 male and 2 female witnesses ought to be available, and the witnesses ought to be of the majority, and it should whatever the witnesses to be there, they should be have attained the majority. Number 1, number 2, same, number 3, Muslim. See, the condition they said is Muslim, they said. So that was the another condition for that time. The D is marriage with a non-Muslim. Can you marry a non-Muslim? Answer yes, under Sunni law. A Muslim man can marry a Muslim woman or a woman who is a Christian or Jew. Yes, she will change it to the name, to the Islam, and they will read the Shahada, that is the La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Then they will follow the activity like a Muslim, and they will get it married by the Qazi, and Nikah will be conducted. But a marriage with a fire worshipper like Zoroastrianism, they don't marry, consider irregular or white. Unless until they will be jailed, they are irregular marriage. But a Muslim woman, I repeat, a Muslim woman cannot marry a non-Muslim man, because Kitabiya means a person. Kitabiya means a person who reads the holy book, and such people are said Kitabiya. Today, I don't know whether you got my WhatsApp message. I today posted one WhatsApp message. There are 7 basic religions are there in the world, and 7 religions having the holy book. Can you tell me?
Bible, Bhagavad Gita,
Over.
Quran,
Go ahead. Guru Granth Sahib, Veda. I posted. I don't know whether I posted to you or not. See, I will show you
not
there. I will show you that which I posted here, because I put it 7 books. Yeah. Read.
the
the
books
books with respective religions are the Avesta, Zoroastrianism, the Bible Christianity, the Guru Granth Sahib Sikhism, the Kojiki Shinto, the Quran Islam, the Torah Judaism, and the Vedas Hinduism.
See, in my every salutation, which I sent to early morning to my students or other group, I will use Namaskar, Vargul good morning, Vargul Assalamu alaikum, Vargul Subodayam, Vargul Habariza Subihi, Vargul Kame Hadirka or Kame Hadirki. For Hadirka for the male, Hadirki for the female. It is a Eritrean, Tigranian language which is there in the Asmara where I worked for the 3 years. So I make in every salutation there would be a new thing would be there where my students should have to learn it. So every good morning, my students should have to learn the new things. That is my intention. See, in this way, I will make it out in everything. Like here, I made it a different. Like for Islam, that I will make in this manner. He should not harm her. This is Islamic way of posting. For other women, for other thing like care. See, this is also for Islam. The more your children see you taking care of, the more your children see you taking care of, your parents, the more they will learn to take care of you. See, if you serve our parents by looking it, our children will serve us in that manner. So that is the, so each day that I will send you such a yes, like this. Many other things. One common, one for Islam or Muslim, that I will post it. So Kitabiya means there would be a holy book. Muslim women cannot marry a non-Muslim man, means Kitabiya. And such a marriage will be considered irregular. On the other hand, in Shia law, marriage with the non-Muslim is a wide. Shia law never agree for the non-Muslim. So marriage during Iddat is another point. Everybody should have to know what is the Iddat. 3 lunar months for the menopause woman, and till the get the delivery for the pregnant woman. Death 4 months 10 days, and ordinary take 3 tuhurs, that means 3 lunar months, 3 consecutive periods of the pregnancy, what is a menstruation cycle. So that will be counted there in that period. So in the tomorrow class, at any time it will be stopped, we will see the concept of valid retirement. Then we will see whatever the thing would be there in the next class, but at any time, because with this one it is over, I believe. Yes. The nothing is there, only few is there. Retirement in the sense voluntarily, but they are fit enough for the sex, but they voluntarily retire it. That is called concept of voluntary. Ante sannyasini puchukodam annattu. That is called fatwe alamgiri. A valid retirement is equivalent to the actual commission for the various purposes